This is Spawn Steve, my Spawnlocked Ironman account, and we have one goal: to pick up every item spawn across Gielinor. No monster drops, no shops, just the items on the floor and the resources you can get with them. But to reach our goal, we have 5 Grandmaster quests to complete. This is Spawnlocked. Welcome to another episode of Spawnlocked. As you can see, I am in the Ice Dungeon. Yep, in between episodes, I was doing a bit of Slayer and a bit of, just other rune crafting, more Guardians of the Rift. As you can see, we are up to 24 Slayer. I figure if I'm, getting my stats up, getting my combat level up, I may as well do it while on a Slayer task. But as you can see, I have used quite a bit of our runes, so I am going to have to go back very soon. Probably won't be able to finish this task. But yeah, that is basically going to be our theme for the episode, is getting our stats up. That leads into one of our 2 goals here for today. The first of which is to get levels on every single one of these level 1 skills, because I am sick of seeing the level 1s, and I want to go ahead and actually have stats. I also want to work on one of our early goals of the account: unlocking fairy rings. Now, that doesn't seem like it should be an early goal. Seems like I should be able to just get that. But let editor me explain why. For most players, fairy rings are quite easy. Something you can get done on your first day or so on an account. So why did I act like this was going to be a problem? The only real requirements for Fairy Tale 1 are from Lost City, being 31 crafting and 36 woodcutting, as well as a recommended combat level of 50. And that's easy enough. I could grind that right now. The issue comes with one of the required items. We need a pair of secutors, which only come from 2 places. We could either buy one from a store, or we can get one from the Tool Store 5. Now, some of you may remember me mentioning this in my last episode when we were talking about the Rake. The Tool Store 5 is a POH build that requires 55 construction. And just to remind you, I'm only picking things off the ground, and I can't sell things to stores. Just keep that in mind. So one of our main focuses of today will be getting to 55 construction. But before that nightmare, I want to first get some levels on the Unloved skills. Starting with Hunter! But I fucked up the recording. I totally didn't record any of it, but here you can see I have 1,000 Hunter experience. I got it from Orlando. I just fucked up and I didn't hit record. Great start to a video. Amazing start to a video. You're inspirational. The next skill we are going to level is woodcutting. Yep, we are here, and we are actually going to grab our forester kit from the Freaky Forester, because this is completely free, so I don't consider this a purchase, and it's just going to make doing woodcutting a lot nicer. Though I will say, the rest of these items are completely off the table, as they actually cost stuff, which is not cool. And we really need to get our woodcutting up, because both fire making, fletching, and construction all rely on me having a pretty decent woodcutting level, so let's begin. And that is level 15 woodcutting, which means we get to cut down oak trees now. And I see one right here. And I'm going to need a lot of oak logs for the eventual construction grind, so any oak logs I can get here, that is perfect. Alright, so we've got ourselves up to 37 woodcutting. We're probably going to do some more just to gather logs for the construction grind. But I'm going to take a moment here to start doing some fletching and fire making. And let's start with these 122 logs. So let's do this. And that's 2 inventories, got us up to level 14. Should I be picking up these? I mean, these are mine. They are come from my logs. So yeah, I'm gonna pick up the ashes. Who knows? Maybe I'll need them someday. Next up, we're gonna do some fletching. So I'm just gonna start us with some arrow shafts. Okay, I think I heavily underestimated how slow fletching at level 1 is, because that is all of our normal logs, and we are nowhere close to 15. All right, I guess we're doing some more regular logs. And there we are, level 20 fletching, which means I can finally fletch an oak shortbow. So let's do just that. I just want to do the one right now. And there it is. All right, and then from here, We can be done for now. Look at how much arrow shafts we have. Eventually, we're going to make use of that. Also, during this whole thing, I also got ourselves a clue nest, which is pretty nice. Not sure what we're going to do with that yet, but we'll come back to that at a later time. What I do want to do is, in the last episode, we picked a lot of flax. So there's a spinning wheel here. I'm going to go get an inventory of it and, fletch the bow. Let's do this. Alright, here's the spinning wheel, and let's make some bowstrings. Perfect. And there we go, an inventory of bowstrings, and let's get an oak shortbow. Alright. Alright, now I'm just going to get one of those regular shortbows from the bank. We are going to string that up, and then we are going to start some range training. But before we can start our range training, we need arrows. Yeah, we're over here by the Ferox Enclave because there are a lot of bronze arrows here just on the floor. In fact, that'll make them a lot easier to grab. So let's go ahead and just gather up a bunch of arrows. Then we can start our range training. And with that, that is 215 bronze arrows. I think that's enough to start ourselves some range training, so let's do it. Yeah, I just decided to come back to sand grabs for this. And we're doing pretty good. We're already up to level 8, though one thing I am really noticing is we have a really severe lack of ranged equipment. And thinking about it, we don't actually have any upcoming sources that is going to fix that, because we can't get anything like snake skin. We're not going to be able to get dragon hide, so I'm really unsure what our max gear is going to look like. We are going to be able to max out our bow with the magic short bow, but that just doesn't seem that good. But that's for future me to figure out. For now, we're just going to get some levels and use up these arrows. Alright, and we are finishing off on our last bit of arrows. Oh, I think that was the last arrow, so just pick up what we have here. We have 15 arrows, good enough. We are at 20 range, so that is good for me. For now, all we have left is our construction and our farming. And I think what I'm going to do here is we're going to start with farming. So to do that, we're going to have to start the giant dwarf. Take it away, future me. What the fuck do you mean take it away? It's the giant dwarf. You don't need any requirement. What the fuck? Skip to the clip. All right, we've made it, and let's head through the little crack here and start the quest. All right, let's go. Let's deface a bit of history. I forgot how fucking long this cutscene is. Jesus Christ. Maybe I'll do an epic edit where I do like a voiceover. No, I fucking won't. Alright, and officially we have made our way to Keldagrim. And sorry, Commander, but I am not doing any of that. I'm not even sure if I ever will come back for this. Just gaining access to Keldagrim is all I really wanted. If I'm not mistaken, just over here, I believe, is our one and only Rake spawn. Yoink. And with that, we have officially unlocked farming. In fact, let me go ahead and get our first bit of experience. Alright, that took way longer than it should have. And if it wasn't for the fact that we needed the tool store 5, that would be our only method all the way up to 15 farming, which would have sucked. But for now, I think I'll be content just getting a single level in farming, so let's find some more patches. And that is level 2 farming, which is about as far as I'm going to go for now. We'll come back to farming once we have the tool store 5 built, but right now, we're going to start by getting the first couple of levels of construction. And luckily for us, we can just pick up some planks. And our most efficient source for planks is actually right up here in the top of the Barbarian Outpost. As you can see, there's a couple of lovely red dots there, and all 4 of those should be planks. So we already have 10 in the bank, and to my estimate, we only need 94 planks to actually do what we need, so just a few trips, and we should have what we need to get to the level we need to get to, which is 15. And then from there, the big grind starts, but we'll get more into that in a moment. Alright, so with all of the planks we need gathered, I also am going to get a bit of nails that we need for the beginning of our construction grind. And of course, step 1 of that is to go ahead and actually buy our house. So let's come into here and let's talk to the estate agent. Please give me a home. We're also going to grab this saw, which we couldn't grab before because we were on a free-to-play world. But that is another spawn picked up off the ground, and unfortunately, the beginning of our goddamn construction grind. But Let's do this. Alright, so here we are at our player-owned house. This is our entire cash stack. Should be enough to do our first bit of our construction grind. Of course, it's nowhere near going to get us to 55, but we'll get to that when we get to that. For now, we are just trying to get to level 15, so let's start. First things first, we are going to build the crew chair. Jesus Christ, I hope I've made enough nails. Okay, I woefully underestimated just how many nails I'd bend. God damn it. Alright, and now we can actually build our first actual room, which we are going to build a kitchen. So now we are just going to build wood larders until we get to 15. Okay, there it is, level 15. Jesus, that was annoying. Can now build a workshop, which is the next room we really want. Unfortunately, as you can see, workshop costs 10,000 coins, and we don't have that much. Which brings us to our next big grind, money. So let's get into that. Because we can't sell to shops, the only real way we have to go about making money is by high alching things, basically. Luckily, here in the Vyrewatch bank, there are actually some good, high value items here in the basement. And we do now have access to telekinetic grab, so we can go ahead and grab some of these more high value items. The highest value item here, of course, is the ruby ring. Unfortunately, it's too far for us to telekinetic grab, which means for us to successfully be able to pick up all of these spawns on the ground, and more importantly in the short term, successfully gather enough money for us to get to 55 construction, we need to do Crack the Clue 3, which has its own bit of issues. Crack the Clue 3 requires we have these items. Of these items, most of these are perfectly fine. However, there are a few items here that we need to go over. For starters, the steel scimitar makes it so we have to get ourselves up to 35 smithing to be able to make it. We have both the emerald and the amulet of defense, which means we're going to need to get up to 31 crafting. The steel arrow is actually something we can get from one of our POH items in the workshop, the repair table, but more on that later. We can craft a leather cowl using a leather from the Shadian camp, which we can get with telegrab. But now, unfortunately, there are 4 items here that are going to be a big problem. Both the raw sardine and the blue dye I am going to need to buy. As I mentioned before, we do not have access to any kind of fish bait, so we literally have 0 way to get a raw sardine. So at the end of the day, we just have to buy one. And we would eventually need one anyways for Gertrude's cat, so we could double up on that. The other 2 issues are the fire tiara and the mine tiara. My best way to get a tiara right now is by leveling up to 50 thieving to go and steal from the silver stall, which isn't that bad all things considered. Thieving is one of our most convenient and useful skills. However, the fire tiara specifically actually needs me to get up to 52 thieving, because for us to get the fire talisman, we need to thieve it from one of the dorgeshuun chests, which requires 52 thieving, as well as death to the dorgeshuun being completed. Unfortunately, the mine talisman is not in that chest, so our only way to get that is to kill imps, unfortunately. And speaking of killing imps, we also need to do that for the red bead. And because we have to do all this to get this ruby ring, that means that these are requirements. So we are allowed to make exceptions, though it never feels good to have to do so. But once we do gain access to the ruby ring, it high alchs for 1200 GP, which is going to be our best moneymaker, possibly to the entire end of the account. And it will be crucial for us to be able to get to 55 construction, because we have a lot of planks we need to make. But before we can do any of that, we do need to find a way to get the remaining 4,000 gold, because we do need the workshop before we can do Crack the Clue 3. And right now, we're still 10 levels off even having high level alchemy. Currently, we only have access to low level alchemy, so things are really not good for us money-wise. That being said, I have an idea. And that's literally, we're just gonna grab the gold necklace and world hop. We only need to do this for a little bit, so it's fine. Alright, and there we go. 10,000 gold. That didn't take too long, honestly. So yeah, with that, we're going to go ahead and make the workshop and show you why we care. But before we do that, we actually want to start the dig site quest. We're not going to complete it, but we just need to get to a certain point, and you'll see why in a moment. So now with all 3 certificates, we can finally come to the fun soil here and look for what we came all this way to find. Turns out I did record a follow-up to that, so it's a broken staff. We are here to get broken staffs, which have about a 1 in 20 chance to show up. So with that in mind, alright, here we are back at our house, because we are finally going to go ahead and actually make the workshop and that repair bench I was talking about, because we have 9 broken staffs here. You could probably get an idea of where I'm going with this, but go ahead and create the workshop with the last of our money, unfortunately, but this is going to be huge. This place has all of the tool stores. This is what's gonna cause us to need to go all the way up to level 55 construction. It's got the crafting bench, but most importantly, I believe this is it right here. Yep, the repair space. This is what's important for us right now, because with 2 oak planks, we could create it. And about a 1 in 25, 20-ish chance, these broken staffs can be turned into any of the elemental staffs. Because right now, as you know, I only have access to earth staff, but I really want a fire staff because I'm going to be doing a lot of alching, both low and high alching. And I really want to be able to not have to waste a bunch of fire runes. So it's a 1 in 25 chance, so we'll see if I get lucky with the 9 in my inventory. Ooh, we got a Staff of Air, which is a new slot. Final one. Can I get any more elemental staffs? No, but that's perfectly fine. I just want to do this as a bit of a proof of concept and to show you kind of what I'm working towards. I'm going to do a lot more of that sort of off screen while I'm doing a lot of the other grinding. Just sort of take breaks, do a bit of that, do a bit of this, and hopefully by the end of it have 1 staff of each type. Also, we got a snazzy little hat. Oh, and the hat's actually best in slots. But with that out of the way, we now have a couple of big grinds ahead of us. Because I have estimated we're going to need somewhere in the ballpark of 3,000 oak logs to get us up to 55 construction. Which means we're going to need 750,000 GP to be able to convert all those into planks. On top of all the requirements we're going to need for Crack the Clue, I have a lot in my future. And over the next couple days, I'm going to be punching through a lot of these, and we'll see which of these I complete first. So it's the next day, and I'm just checking in on the current grind. So far, we're currently working on the Thieving grind, trying to get that back up to 52. But before I started this, I actually went back and I got a whole bunch of broken staffs and eventually got 1 of each element, which took a little longer than I wanted it to. But with that said, on to the next clip. Alright, quick update. I've decided to stop doing fruit stalls for a bit, just mostly because I was bored, but also because I wanted to come back here to the Isle of Souls dungeon, just because the chest does have a lot of useful drops, and if I'm using time, you know, getting to a certain thieving level, I may as well spend some of that time actually gathering some decent resources. Also, I'm not in like a super huge rush to get to the level, because I'm gonna have to get to it eventually, and there is a potential future point where we are going to need to have multiple rolls at the dark chest, which, by the way, I was wrong in my last video. It's not a 1 in 88 chance to get the dark key. It's a 1 in 200 chance. So I don't know how I got that wrong, but I was off by a pretty decent magnitude on how rare that is. Oh, okay. All right, I was just about to end the recording, but I believe that is our new best in slot weapon. Yep, 15 slash plus 16. Okay, this is absolutely our best in slot weapon. Not for defenses, so I'm not going to equip it now because I'm using the Silverlight for its defensive purposes. But we have now a best in slot weapon, which is, again, exactly the kind of reason why I wanted to do this over fruit stalls. Alright, and that is 43 Thieving, which I believe is the time that we want to go ahead and actually start the feud quest to get a couple extra levels and unlock blackjacking, but I've got quite a bit of stuff here. Like, I've gone to the bank a couple of times now already. Quick bank check. I just wanted to show how many of these mithril items that we ended up getting. I remember when just getting one of these was like so exciting, so this can give you a bit of an idea of how long we were potentially there for. But also, we have 4 of our best in slot adamant scimitar, which actually high alch for a decent amount. So once we get our high alching going, that's going to be an extra bit of income. But now it's time to feud. Unfortunately, we do have to go through a bit of purchasing, but this is a required quest for us to access Secrets of the North and all of that quest line, so I guess we gotta. As usual, we're gonna get a man drunk to get something out of him. I don't know why this is a cliche in the game, but whatever. Oh god, I'm about to die. I'm totally just fucking around with the camera. Whoops. Oh my god, 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 oh my god. Genuinely almost killed me. I wonder why I keep dying. I just can't focus. Good stuff. Now it's time for fight number 2. This is gonna be close. I have to be ready to run at any moment. This guy can hit a 10. Yep, nope, not risking it. Okay. we are teleporting out of here, and we will be right back. God damn it. The good news is I didn't die this time. I retreated of my own accord. I made the decision to leave. He did not bring me to an early grave, so this is a win. We might get through a full Spawn Steve episode without me dying unnecessarily. Alright, round 2, motherfucker. God damn you, don't pull a Temple Guardian to make me use very little food after I went out of my way to grab so much. Why does this keep happening? Whatever. And the feud completed. Whew. And that should get us up to, yep, 45 thieving, which allows us to finally start blackjack. And for those of you who have never blackjacked before, basically what we're going to do is going to be right-clicking on this buddy. We're going to be knocking him out. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. If it doesn't, we just come back up here, eat up a little, come back down. He's forgotten about it. I can knock him out again, and then I get a couple of free pickpockets. Quickly want to jump in here and say, if you are liking the video, please subscribe. This episode took a ton of work, and we are so close to 1,000 subscribers. Please. But with that, back to the video. Oh, there it is, 52 thieving. Okay, we are done. Oh, that was so much more annoying. I ended up, oh. Let's see if, square sandwich, okay. See if we can get the stale baguette to top it all off. That would have been great. Wait. Oh, she totally said square sandwich. Whoops. Well, that's actually kind of unfortunate because we used up a lot of our food stack. But we made it to 52 thieving. I had to run back for food many times during that little trip there. And each trip, this took a bit more time, and the food just got less and less efficient. Like, look at this. I've used up all the bread, almost all of our cake. Would have used up all the trout if I kept doing that. All the mackerel's gone. Yeah, food stonks are pretty low right now, but it's fine. So with that, that is one of our goals out of the way. The next one I think I want to deal with is smithing. So let's start that. Oh, right, and that is 35 smithing. Finally, we can make steel scimitars, so I'm not even going to complete this inventory. I am literally just going to go run and make ourselves a couple of steel scimitar. Or just really only need the one, which I believe is just 2 steel bars. And there it is. Steel scimitar. And that is yet another one of our requirements for Crack the Clue 3 checked off our list. Unfortunately, that is not a BIS because I got the adamant sim not too long ago. I think the next thing that I want to work on is actually going to be crafting, because we do need 31 crafting to make an emerald amulet. We actually need to make 2 of them because one needs to be enchanted to a amulet of defense. So I think that's where we're going to start right now. We're already at 29 crafting and we only need to get to 31. So I feel like that's a very attainable goal, and that's what we're going to do next. So I think first step towards that, doesn't look like we're getting this too much far, but it'll get me somewhere. I think I'm actually going to go over to Keldagrim now. Not only do they have a crafting stall there where I can get some crafting materials, but we do need to eventually go there anyways to grab our 2 silver tiaras we need. So luckily we did unlock it earlier in the episode, so we should be able to use the trapdoor here in the Grand Exchange to get a quick and easy ride over to that side of the map, which is great. So I'm just going to be trying my best to avoid the guards line. And tiara? No tiara. And yeah, from here we're trying to get as many molds as we can, but there also is a chance to get some gold bars, which is going to be big. We'll be able to make at least some rings, use up some of the sapphires, do something. Okay, I was in Keldagrim for what felt like ever, and I got at least a full inventory, if not definitely more, of just silver after silver after silver. I think I had already gone beyond the rate of both of these tiaras. So I decided to switch things up. And lo and behold, the third one we got here in Karen, oh, and the second, I just immediately got both tiaras. This is just... I feel like this game's fucking with me sometimes, but we got them all. So there's a couple other of the things we need off of our list. Yeah, let me check right fucking now. 42. I got 42 whole rolls on the silver stall without a single tiara. God damn it. Alright, so I decided that since we are doing crafting anyways, I may as well get the leather hood that I need to get done here, as well as just a few random Shazy encampment spawns. And now we're just going to grab a few more of these to help with the crafting. Alright, so I got a decent amount of leather here, so first things first before I forget, we got to get a single leather cowl. Alright, and now I guess we can just make whatever we want from here. Oh, if we can make leather chaps right now, that actually sounds really good, because I actually have no ranged gear, so let's see if we can make any of this. Vamp races? Yes. Good. Chaps. Ooh, I can make chaps. Perfect. I don't think I have enough level for a coif. Yeah, it's 38. Alright, so since I can get up to chaps, that's going to give me the most amount of experience out of the rest of this leather, so let's go ahead and just push that. Now, yeah, I'm definitely not getting up to 31 off of this alone, but this will do a little bit, which is fine. But when you next see me, I will be 31 crafting, and we can cross that off the list. So we decided to do some Guardians of the Rift. And as you can see, we are up to 31 crafting, so it's time to make some emerald amulets. But to make the amulets strong, we do need some wool, so I'm going to go ahead and actually just get a full inventory of wool, and I guess we could do sheep shear while we're out here. Oh. And we'll kill a couple of rams, I guess. Alright, and we're going to start sheep shearer. And we're done sheep shearer. Alright, and this is everything that we are going to need to get what we need. So first, let's go ahead and just grab 2 emerald amulets, since we need 2 of them. Then let's go ahead and string both of them. And then we need to enchant just 1 of them. There we are, amulet defense and an emerald amulet. The amulet defense actually will be our best in slot for the time being. But yeah, with that out of the way, we are getting so close to being done with our list of requirements. Next, we're going to focus on the fire tiara, which means we got to complete Death to dorgeshuun. And to do that, we have a couple of prerequisites, including Goblin Diplomacy. And as part of it, we need this die. And unfortunately, the next die we do need to get from this guy. Unfortunately, we do have to need to buy a little bit of stuff, but it's not in the shop interface, so it's fine. And we are good. That felt bad. I don't like buying things. I like stealing them. And then we just have to come over to Aggie and pay for her services to make some dyes for us. And this isn't me buying something. This is me paying for her service, much like me making planks. So this is good. And with that, we have everything we need to start Goblin Diplomacy. So, off to Goblin Village. Alright, and Goblin Diplomacy completed. But from here, now we can go ahead and start Lost Tribe, and eventually get to Death to dorgeshuun. So, for Lost Tribe, we are going to need... I actually have no idea what we need. Let me go check. Absolutely nothing, because we got everything that we need. But yeah, this is literally everything that we are going to need. So, off to Umbridge. Alright, Lost Tribe started. And we gotta go to Vyrewatch, and luckily, finally, we have teleports so we don't have to walk there. Oh, Quest is gonna be so good with these teleports. I love them so much. God, I love figuring out these puzzles completely unhelped and completely off my own knowledge. I'm so smart. And that is the Lost Tribe completed. Got a Ring of Life, which is actually gonna be our best in slot for now. And hopefully will prevent me from dying an unnecessary death this episode, because as far as I know, editor me point and laugh at me if I'm wrong, I haven't died this episode, so this is very good. And now I believe we can just go ahead and start Death to dorgeshuun. So, but for that we actually need 23 agility. Yeah, we just need to get 23 agility, and now we can start the quest. Alright, and Death to dorgeshuun started. Alright, and we've done it. Finally, we have a full 2 sets of the ham gear, so I can actually get out of this godforsaken place. Whew. Yeah, I say that, but they actually had a decent amount of pretty good loot, including cowhides, as you can see. So that actually can allow us to, I believe, craft hard leather, so we might have some better range gear in the future. You know, that's definitely something we're going to look into. But for now, let's go ahead and get rid of all of what we don't need and continue the quest. Hey, I got a little buddy following me. Look at Zanuck in his little getup. Come on, friend. We're off to go kill some fuckers. Then you'll let me into your city where I can rob you people blind. I mean, rob you goblins blind. Jesus Christ, I get cold. God, this quest is so fun. Ah, where's Zanuck? No! Zanuck! No, 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 where's Zanuck? No! Zanuck! No! No! Fuck! Zanuck! Shit! I've never done this quest before, so fuck me. Okay, okay. If we revive you, this is gonna be fucking amazing. Honestly, it'd be really funny just to keep him as an item in my inventory, but I do need to get this quest done. Yes! Let's fucking go! Praise Saradomin, or Guthix! Praise Guthix! Let's go! Zanuck, I'm so glad to see you again. You know, this is fun. Usually I don't read through quests, but this has been very enjoyable, so thank you for the fun, Zanuck. We are gonna go kill some motherfuckers. Death to the hand members. You fuck with Zanuck, you fuck with me. Yes! No, he's alive. He ran away. And death to the dorgeshuun. Finally completed. That was great. I thoroughly enjoyed that quest. Oof. Well, now to do what we finally came here to do, which is steal from these beautiful people. Yes, okay, sweet. Alright, and I think I just gotta stick here until I get the talisman, so I'll check back with you then. Alright, and there it is, the fire talisman. I had to do some world hopping to do this. I actually got 3 earth talismans before I got the fire one. And I already have the air talisman from the, Rune Mysteries quest, so I think that's everything that I need. But with that said, we can finally make the tiara. Let's do it. Alright, in we go, and let's go ahead and use our tiara on this. There we are. We officially have the fire tiara. So if we ever just wanted to make fire runes, I guess we can. But that's here for a crack the clue. And now we just need to get our mind talisman for the other tiara, which requires us to kill some imps. And we actually need to get 2 items from this, both the mind talisman and the red bead. And we got neither, so we're going to leave those. But yeah, we've just come over to Falador because I always remember there being a lot of imps around here, so this should be relatively quick. Oh, and there it is. There is the red bead. That is one of 2 of our goal items here. So hopefully we only need to kill a few more, because I want to be done with picking up monster drops. This is disgusting. There it is. Oh, we got the mountain talisman. Oh, thank goodness. Oh, I had a feeling. Oh, I just had a feeling. Oh, okay, there we are. All right, mind talisman gotten. That is how many? 50 imps in, which is almost 3 times the drop rate, but I don't care. That's so good to see. All right, on to making the mind tiara. Let's do this. All right, and we have mind talisman created. Thank God we are finally done with that. But it was good to get the thieving levels, and I'm happy with what we did. There's only a few more items that we need to grab, so let's grab them in rapid succession. Alright, we need to buy a single raw sardine, as we have 0 ways to actually get this on our account. Alright, and there's our blue dye. First of which is we need more raw beef. Yep. If I had realized that I need these at a future point, I probably would have postponed, Druidic Ritual for at least a little bit longer, but whatever. I'm going to pick these up, and we're never going to talk about this, because I'm going to be dropping them the second I'm done with them. And as if the rat meat hasn't already haunted me enough, I need to get another fucking one. So let's beat the shit out of this rat and claim our prize. Very good. But with that should be literally everything we need to do crack the clue number 3. So, at long fucking last, let's do this. And to remind you, we're doing all of this so we can make enough money, so we can get to 55 construction, so we can get Secutors, so we can start Fairy Tale Part 1, complete it, and get fairy rings. Jesus Christ. And that's not even mentioned, there might even be another problem when we start Fairy Tale 1, but that's for later. Alright, here it is. Here's everything that we are going to need. Look at this mess of an inventory. Genuinely, how did you people figure this out? Alright, and all I should need to do is stand in this specific spot and dig. Yep, and there it is. And we go ahead and read the clue, but it doesn't matter because we already know what it is. So we just got to get ourselves to the Vyrewatch West Bank. And at long last, by climbing down here, getting to right here, and doing the correct emotes, which luckily there is, of course, a plugin for that. Thank the Lord. It's a pretty long one, which again, you people, how did you figure this out? Like, you people scare me sometimes. We're gonna go ahead, go through all of these prompts, and eventually our mysterious old man will teleport us in. Whew. Now, we don't need to do the dig step every time. We just need to do the funny emotes every time. But while we're here, let's go ahead and clean out this area of all spawns. So we'll start with the coins, the brass necklace, the coins, the coins, the coins, the coins. And actually, if we open up these chests, we get the different pieces of the clue armor, which I am going to rock for a bit because this shit is crazy cool. Yeah, so let's go ahead and wear all of that and take a look at our sick fashion scape. God, I look sick. Moving on, we also have the gold bar, the gold necklace, some more coins, some gold ore, and the entire reason we're here, the ruby ring. Whew. And we also get this infinite money bag from one of these chests. I forgot to record that. But the infinite money bag is great because we can take from it and gain a single coin. A single coin. And I believe, like, it's limited to the amount of ticks that you have. So I believe you can only get up to about 8,000 an hour. But if I get just completely crazy, this is technically an infinite money glitch. So there's that. But with all that said, it's finally time to start our very first Ruby Alch. Oof, okay. I'm actually going to bring this up here. And now we are doing low Alch because we're not at 55, but honestly, I don't care. I could get more nature runes if I want to, either at the chest or at Guardians of the Rift. So really, I am just going to be sitting here for the next little bit, world hopping, grabbing the rubies, and then once I have an inventory, going for a big Alch session. And I'm going to have to do this, you know, somewhere in the ballpark of about 800 times. So let's fucking do this. Oh shit, is someone else doing this? Alright, and after a few hours of grinding oaks, this should be our final stack. Yep. 3,008 oak logs. Not only that, we also got to a total level of 700, which is really nice. But now with this, the only two things we need are money and time to do construction. So it's a little later in the evening, so I'm going to try again on those ruby rings. So let's try that. Now, before I start this long grind, there's just one thing I haven't brought up. You know, the thing I teased in the title. I'm talking about the fact that I have a 60% chance of not getting fairy rings. Because during the Fairy Tale 1 quest, we are tasked with gathering 3 items from a list of 31. And of those 31, we can get all but 7 of them. Which seems to give us pretty good odds, right? Except this has some jank to it. Because when the game rolls an item for us to fetch, it also grabs the following 2 items on that list as the remaining items. Here is the complete list of items that they could ask us to fetch. If, for example, the game rolled Super Compost, it would mean I would also need to get a Clean Valencia Moss and Baby Dragon Bones. Or more relevantly, if I roll Mortmire Fungus, it will also roll a Nature Talisman and a Clean Avanto. And I have 0 way to get a Nature's Talisman. And since this quest is not a requirement for the account, just a quality of life thing, I cannot make an exception for it. So counting all those additional bad rolls, and we have a 60% chance to be unable to finish the quest. But before I could even worry about that, we still need to finish this multi-hour grind. So until then... And after several hours, that is it. We have about 100 nature runes left, but you know, I'm finally done. Now I can actually play the game again. And by play the game again, I mean doing construction for several hours. Fuck me. And there it is. 776,868. I estimate that we should only need 765,000 of this, but man, that's a lot of money. And from here, all we need to do at this point is go over here and see these 3,008 logs. We are going to turn those into planks. So let's begin that grind. This is all to maybe unlock fairy rings. Reminder, we don't even have a full chance of doing it. So this could be extra pointless. Alright, we're about 1/7 of the way there, and I already want to say this is so much nicer. God, this is good. I am quite, this is way better than the Ruby Ring grind. There's a lot of AFK, a lot of sort of dead time in between, way more chill. Because I know once the construction grind shows up, it's going to be fairly quick intensive once again. But until then, we just gotta click over here, then I could just angle the camera and click right there, and that basically gets us the entire way there. But yeah, just wanted to check in and basically say things are good right now. Things are good. Alright, and with these 3 oak planks, that makes 3,000 oak planks. And that is so good. And the remaining 15,000 I have here is the exact amount that we're going to need to unnote all of these when we're over there at files. But with that, we can now begin the actual construction grind. Actually, before I go, I believe I need another 5,000 here to make the final room that we're going to need for the grind, the dining room. And very quickly, we're just going to go ahead and build out that dining room. And we're good to go. So let us begin, hopefully, the final grind. Alright, and officially we can now start working on Oak Larders, the classic early construction grind. And one little thing I wanted to mention here about the Oak Larders before I continue the grind is many people probably don't even know what this thing is. It's basically a fridge. And if we search the larder, we have options to get a lot of things. One of them is a pot of flour, which means all of the wheat that we have gotten to this point is useless and will be useless for the rest of time. I still have several more fields to pick, and I'm gonna do it. I just wanted to let you know this. Back to the grind. And with this final removal, that is 55 construction. If I overshot the oak planks by just a little bit, but that's fine, because now we should be able to come in here and build all of the remaining tool stores. So we'll start with tool store 1, then we can build tool store 2, then we can do tool store 3, tool store 4, and finally tool store 5. Now as you can see, all of them exist, all at the same time. So one by one, let's go ahead and grab the things that are needed here. So for starters, I do not believe I have a holy symbol. This is also where I would initially have gotten my tiara mold, since I also don't have that. So if I ever need to make tiaras again, I don't need to rely on thieving. I could just do it here. So yeah, I think we have just about everything on these ones, but this is the one, the tool store 5 that we have worked all this time for, because in here are the secutors. The one item I needed to start Fairy Tale 1, and it's finally mine. It also gives us access to the travel and the seed dibbler, which is important because this completely unlocks farming for us going forward, because now I can actually put the seeds in the fucking ground. But yeah, this is an insane upgrade to the account. Just getting 55 construction. There are a couple of things here or there that are just going to be useful to have access to within here. But this workshop in particular has so much value for us. It's hard to really explain. But with that said, I think we can finally start Lost City and hopefully be able to finish Fairy Tale 1 so we can unlock fairy rings. Because if I did all this and we don't even get to unlock it, I'll be sad. First on our cavalcade of quests is Restless Ghosts. Hello, Father. And Restless Ghost completed. That was a weird cutscene. He just kind of flung himself into the river. I don't know how to feel about that, but Restless Ghost completed. Next on our quest list is Nature Spirit, and to do that, we unfortunately need to do a little bit of purchasing. We need to get a sickle mold here from the crafting shop, but before that, I'm just going to cook up a bit of the silver we got earlier today. Man, why couldn't it just be available as a spawn drop in the crafting guild? Ugh. Fine, take your goddamn money, I got the sickle mold. Alright, and with that, let's just get geared up and do the quest. And Nature Spirit completed. Alright. And with that, we can start Lost City. Alright, and time to start the Lost City quest. Our final roadblock before we can start Fairy Tale 1. And on our way down into the Intrana dungeon. Now there are a couple of bone drops here we actually got to pick up, so don't mind if I do. And luckily for us, unlike Fairy Tale 1, Lost City is a required quest, so we are going to be able to pick up this bronze axe that they drop. Lucky. First time luck? Nope. Second time luck? Oh! Okay. Okay, second time luck. Alright. Looking good, looking good. I guess we have a couple more drops up here from the looks of it. Fortunately, it is by these demons. Quickly grab them, grab them. Yeah. Okay. Whew. Okay, we're good. Alright, and using this bronze axe, we can go ahead and chop this down. And, oh god, that hits for quite a bit. But luckily, we can safe spot this. And yeah, I guess we'll just firebolt this. I'm guessing if it has any elemental weakness, it's probably gonna be fire. God, I love cheesing bosses. Oh shit, 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 shit. Oh my god, no. Oh, please don't. I can't believe I almost fucked up the easiest safe spot in my life. Jesus Christ. Okay. They're almost dead. Just be fucking careful. That was gonna be the death. That was gonna be the death of the episode, but we fucking saved it. Whew! Alright. That was unnecessary. I'm gonna grab a couple others because I don't ever want to come back down here. And who knows, I can be really stupid and somehow lose it. So I'm just gonna fill up my inventory with these fucking things. Alright, and let's carve ourselves our Draman staff. And with that, I believe we can just get the heck out of here. And Lost City completed. Alright, we finally made it here into Xanaris, and, you know, before we go ahead and just march our way right into Fairy Tale Part 1, let's talk about a couple of the things we have here. First of which is Childar, who's actually a pretty decent Slayer Master, so when we get a good enough combat and Slayer level and we're ready to do some higher level stuff, they are going to be a decent, you know, source of assignments. And probably most famously here is the portal to Piro Piro. Now, I do want to say this right now. I am not going to be allowing myself to get implings on this account. As not only do I feel like they're a bit too powerful, mostly because, in my opinion, it's fundamentally no different than just a monster drop. But also, I feel like you would take away a lot of the struggles that this account can have. One of the really fun things about this account is the theory crafting. Figuring out all these weird niche little things that we have to do to get just these really simple items. And if we were to allow impling jars, then 99% of the answer would just be impling jars, which is kind of lame. So that's why I decided implings are off the table for the account. Whether that ruling goes towards all 100 things, I don't know yet. But at the very least, implings are off the table. And also, there's another fucking field of wheat. And you know what? Let's go ahead and actually pick all this wheat while we're here. Because there's also 3 spawn drops, including this bucket, that made it so we have to come here. But without these spawn drops, there'd be no justification for us to even finish Lost City because of us having to pick up the bronze axe from a monster drop. However, when it comes to Fairy Tale Part 1 and 2, that's no longer an issue, as Lost City basically unlocks all of Xanaris for us. Well, at least the parts of Xanaris that we care about. But now, it's wheat time. And just to reiterate what I mentioned there earlier in the video, this wheat is completely useless because we can just get pots of flour from our POH. But we're grabbing them anyways. And with that, that is the entire crop picked. God, I love wheat. Speaking of, we have over 1,000 in the bank, which I'm gonna say it. I don't think anyone has picked as much wheat as I have. I don't know why you ever would. Genuinely, I see no reason why you would ever have to pick wheat. Like, this is just unnecessary. Caution be damned, I need my fairy rings. This is it. Everything has led up to this moment. All of the hours spent gathering enough money and resources to get to 55 construction. All for this. With only a 40% chance to unlock fairy rings, any of these items mean we will never gain access to fairy rings. And all I have to do is to avoid them. So I get through the quest. I walk up to the guy, and I got cave eels. Cave eels that need fishing bait, which I cannot buy. That means this account will never use fairy rings. We will never finish this quest. We failed. That is, until I found something. Lockboxes. Simple lockboxes from Camdozo have a 1 in 16 chance to contain fishing bait, and we have access to it by just doing skilling. I don't know how I missed this on the wiki page before, because this is the only way, which means we can catch cave eels. We can complete this quest, and we will unlock fairy rings on the Spawn Steve account. All we need to do is complete Below Ice Mountain. And oh, look at that. We already finished it. Because I just want to get this over with. Come on. Fuck. I don't care about your civilization. Give me the rocks. Alright, and now all we have to do from here is just spend a bit of time, or maybe even a lot of time, gathering up a bunch of Baronite deposits until we could finally get the goddamn baits. There's also a few item spawns in here. I'll put a couple of clips of me grabbing them, but bottom line, I'm going to be doing a lot of mining. So let's do this. The Camdozo Vault is a small piece of content you've probably never done. To do this, you gotta... No. I'm not gonna do this. This is F-tier content. It just doesn't deserve the effort. Let me break it down for you. You get the nuggets, bust, put the bits in the thing, and then you have 60 seconds to get in, steal what you want, and get out. Explanation over. On to the clip. We were able to get 2 lockboxes. Yes, we want to exit the goddamn vault. We successfully got 2 of them, which means 2 rolls for what we're looking for. And as a reminder, these each have roughly a 1 in 16 chance to get us what we need. So hopefully I don't have to do any more of this content. Let's see. Okay, nothing there, but it's good to know I actually have multiple rolls on it. I didn't actually know that. And... alright, we got the fishing rod, but not the bait, so... guess we got more Baronite shards to collect. Alright, luckily we did find one simple lockbox there at the end. I guess let's get the elaborate out of the way. There's nothing in here for us. Yeah, just some money and fire runes. But the simple lockbox, please. Alright. Back to the mines. Alright, another clip, another attempt. Let's do this. And let's see what this gives us. Nope. There it is! The fishing bait. Okay. I'm done with Camdozo. Fuck this place. Fuck you, guy. Okay, we're out of here. We can finally do the quest. We can finally get fairy rings. Oh, I'm excited. Oh, I am excited. Alright, and with this bait, we're going to be able to finally get what we need for the quest. Oh, I am so excited. And there it is, raw slimy eel. We can get out of here. Let's finish this. And back to Mr. Nature Spirit so we can get these Sekitars enchanted with these 3 fucking items that I thought were going to end this run. Oh, yeah. Alright, and all we need to do is head back to Xanaris and get ready for a fight. Alright, we got our ass-kicking outfit on and all the food we could possibly hold. So, let's kill some fucking tree. There he is. He's a lot smaller than I remember them, but I guess let's kill it. Alright, we'll see if I can just... ooh, no. Might be able to brute force this. Might have to flinch. Oh, is this the flinch spot? I refuse to die this episode. I've died literally every other episode. Please. Okay, I can't flinch. Alright, it's flinching time, baby. Yeah, fuck it. We're just gonna go for it. Fuck yes. We fucking did it. Oh, fuck you, little guy. And with that, Fairy Tale 1 complete. Which means we have only one more thing to do. Oh, here it is. Think that's it? And with that, we should be able to use these fairy rings. So I'm just going to go with whatever I was using last on my main and let's do it. Okay, let's go DKS. Just to be certain. And there we are. We have unlocked fairy rings. Oh, this is gonna be such an amazing quality of life. In fact, let's do the outro somewhere special. And that will be the end of this video. This has been a long grind to get here. We have done a lot of leveling up this episode. We unlocked our best moneymaker. We unlocked fairy wings. We overcame something I didn't think we'd be able to, and we did it. We reached our goal, all while staying in the rules of our challenge. If you like this series, please subscribe if you have not. It means so much to me. We are almost at 1,000 subscribers, and I am really excited to hit that milestone. And as always, thank you for watching.